There comes a quiet moment in life when you realize that almost every version of your future begins with the same sentence. Once I get there, once I have enough money, once I get that promotion, once I lose the weight, once I find the right person, the destination keeps changing. But the sentence somehow stays the same. And after a while, you stop noticing how often you've been saying it. Today becomes something to get through. Tomorrow becomes where life is supposed to begin. No one teaches us to postpone our lives. In fact, it begins with something that feels completely harmless. As children, life is introduced to us one milestone at a time. Do well in school, get into a good college, find a stable job, build a successful career, settle down. Each step points toward the next. And for a long time, that's exactly how life needs to be lived. But somewhere along the way, the milestones quietly stop becoming places we pass through. They become the places where we expect life to finally begin. The strange thing is, very few of these milestones remain just practical decisions. A promotion is no longer only about earning more money. Losing the weight is no longer only about becoming healthier. Finding the right person is no longer only about sharing your life with someone. Somewhere along the way, each of these milestones begins carrying far more than it was ever meant to. Before they even arrive, the mind quietly starts writing the story that comes after them. The conversations you'll finally have, the confidence you'll finally feel, the version of yourself you'll finally become. Without noticing it, we stop imagining the milestone itself and begin imagining the life that seems to exist beyond it. That future begins to feel strangely complete. Not because we've lived it, but because we've quietly written a version of it, where today's uncertainty no longer exists. The future never asked to carry that promise. We placed it there ourselves. And the longer we carry that story, the larger the milestone becomes. If you found yourself somewhere in this conversation, subscribing is one small way of helping these essays reach someone else who might need them too. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, consider sharing it with them. If you look closely, the promise each milestone carries is rarely the same. One person imagines financial freedom. Another imagines love. Someone else imagines recognition, or healing, or finally becoming the person they've always wanted to be. On the surface, they all seem like different desires, but remove the milestone, and something unexpected begins to appear. The hope beneath them is often the same. Not simply that life will improve, but that something inside us will finally feel complete. We rarely chase completion directly. Instead, we spend our lives chasing the things we believe will complete us. And once peace has been assigned to tomorrow, today quietly loses the chance to be enough. Once peace has been assigned to tomorrow, the mind finds a way to justify almost any sacrifice made today, not because the sacrifice feels small, but because it feels temporary. Every difficult season becomes easier to accept. Every compromise feels like part of the journey. Every day feels as though it is buying something worthwhile. And that is what makes this way of living so difficult to recognize. It never feels like postponing life. It feels like preparing for it. The quiet mistake was never having goals. It was believing that life would wait for us to reach them. As though everything happening now was simply leading up to something more important. But life has never made that distinction. It has never separated the meaningful years from the years spent becoming. It has never treated ordinary days as placeholders for extraordinary ones. That was something we quietly learned to do. It was there, in the conversations that were rushed through, the evenings that disappeared into preparation, the ordinary days that never felt important enough to remember. They were never waiting for life to begin. They were life. Perhaps the answer is not to stop looking ahead, or to stop building the life we hope for. The future still deserves our effort. Goals still deserve our commitment. But maybe they were never meant to carry our peace. A milestone can change where we live, what we do, who we meet. It can change the shape of a life, but it cannot decide whether that life has already begun. That quiet decision is made much earlier, on an ordinary day, when nothing remarkable has happened, when there is still work to do, still uncertainty to live with, still places left to go, and yet life is lived anyway, not because everything feels complete, but because it was never meant to wait until it did.